Today is December 30th, 2022. It's 11:12 a.m. This is Detective Joe Lake for case David 22000030, quadruple homicide, Latah County, Moscow, Idaho. With me today is
Detective Gary Tollison, Idaho State Police.
Attorney for...
Perfect. As we previously stated, you do not have to answer our questions. You are not a suspect. If there's a question that makes you uncomfortable or you just don't feel comfortable with, just let us know and we can bypass it. If you build comfort towards it later, we can address that later, okay? But and at any given time, you can tell us, I'm done, and we understand, okay? So we are truly appreciative of you taking time. This is interview, what, 5?
I don't remember.
6. Yeah, it's been a lot. And we are truly grateful that you're so cooperative and helpful with this. Your attorney is present today, which is Ryan. If at any time Ryan needs to stop the interview, she knows what to do. So, all right. We're going to start with the VBQ. Thank you. Very long form. The first question on here is your relationship to the victims, how long you've known each of them. So you've known Zana since August of 2022. Can you tell me?
Well, August 2021, because I joined my freshman year, which would be August 2021.
Okay.
Zana and Maddie Zana's a grade older than me, Maddie's 2 grades older than me. I met them through there. I got close with Maddie because big is Maddie, and so me and would go over to Maddie's house all the time. I didn't know Kaylee at all, really, until that following spring when I met her the first time. Maddie had told me, Zana, and Kaylee that we're all going to live together. That's when I met Kaylee, and then I got to know her more this semester. I knew Ethan and Zana were dating, but I didn't really know Ethan at all until this semester when I first met him. Yeah.
Okay. You actually just answered all of those for everyone. No, you're great. That's great. I appreciate that. No, that's perfect. So you had a pretty good relationship with your roommates, with your friends there, and we'll talk more about that as we progress. You already know the questions. You already answered them all, but we'll just kind of progress through this. Last contact with them, you saw them at the party. This is for Ethan, that is, on the 12th at around 10:30 p.m. And I think that's consistent with what you've previously stated in your interview.
Yeah,
so
I know, I went to some kind of, but I don't know exactly the time that I last saw them.
Okay. And then Kaylee and Maddie, you were hanging out with them, and I'm just going off of my memory, hanging out with them upstairs for a little bit.
Yeah, in Kaylee's room.
Yep. And that was about 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Went back to bed, so that was last year. If you don't mind, what were y'all talking about? They had just gotten back from the clubs, right?
We were all a little bit drunk. Kaylee and Maddie had gotten grub truck, and Maddie kept taking Kaylee's grub truck. So there's a video of me and her, and we're like, oh, should we go get grub truck? And we're like, well, no one can drive. So we were debating texting the Uber driver. We knew him really well because we Ubered a lot, and so he knew most of us. Okay. So that was our last conversation, was deciding if we
That's why you were calling or texting him.
Yeah, the Uber driver, he knows us pretty well.
I gotcha. Okay. It sounds it's a really unfortunate reason why we're meeting today, but feel free to fondly recall, like we just did, because sometimes it can be helpful. Mm-hmm. All right, so sorry that's the last time you saw him, but it sounds like it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Good. The next portion is kind of family and background on the VBQ, and you actually know someone for each of them, family members and whatnot, which is great. So for Ethan, I've had the opportunity to meet both of them. What do you think about?
I think they're both really nice. I know Ethan is bigger sometimes because I know they were both very protective of me because I was like their little sister, and she's really nice. Her and Zana were pretty close, and her and her friends would come over to our place all the time, and she was always super sweet and super nice to us. But I don't know Ethan or their parents' names. Okay, and that's all right. Out of Ethan and
which one was kind of the more dominant?
I wouldn't say just because she was like they're younger, like always kind of like they were more protective of her. I don't really know which one was more dominant, like Ethan or I knew Ethan a lot more than I knew from what I've seen, maybe Ethan, just because I guess people that I know knew him more, I guess.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really know.
For Zaina, you know her father is. Have you met?
Yeah, for Parents Weekend, he came up. He met my mom. He was super nice. And also Parents Weekend, came up and visited. I think that was maybe first or second time I've seen her. I don't know if she's came over to the house before because she's only like 30-ish minutes away. But she came over for a little bit for Parents Weekend as well.
Do you know where she came from?
Wazoo.
Yep.
I think she's as well. I don't know for sure what sorority she's in.
So I've yet to meet, but I hear she and Zaina look a lot.
They look a lot alike, and they always denied it. Zaina kind of got annoyed when I said they looked alike.
So even their father had told me a time or two he actually got them confused.
Really? they looked a lot alike.
Yeah. And you know that Zaina, you wrote down here that both Zaina and Ethan were in a relationship.
Yeah.
Pretty good relationship?
Yeah, they were pretty good. I think it was about a year. They're both very similar. They're like very goofy. Like if they're there, then it's like when we go to parties, if they were there, then it'd be fun. Like that's how they were. And everyone knew Zaina. Like all of you, I knew her, and then obviously everyone knew Ethan because he was dating her.
So they know Ethan by association to
yeah,
Zaina. Yeah,
I mean, I didn't even really know him until I met Zaina, and people probably knew him beforehand because he was. But yeah.
It's interesting. You're not. Everyone tells me that same thing. It's just they're just a lot of fun. They kind of life of the party, and you know when they show up, things are gonna get a little more fun than they've already been. So, for Kaylee, you knew that she had a relationship with John, and it looks like now. I don't know if we know that there was something between her and. But can you tell me a little bit more about her and relationship? I know like after Kaylee broke up, it was very mutual. Like there was no hard feelings, and he still came over, hung out. Kaylee had just been kind of talking to me. I don't know if they ever like officially made it something, but I knew she would stay over at his place. We would pick her up every now and then. And they'd been talking, but I don't know like how serious it was. Okay. Didn't ever come over and just hang out with Kaylee or
I
hang
don't
out at the house?
know. He like when we had parties at our house, and we have a lot of and over, so he'd be over quite a few times, and I know him just from U of I. But I don't think he ever like came over and just hang out with Kaylee. Okay. And then also has been like through our sorority at like Greek life and stuff. So I don't think he ever just like hang out with just Kaylee at our house, from what I know of. Okay. Now, from what I understand, you're pretty tight. Yeah. Okay. But they're also kind of it's associated. Like out of my friend group, we would just hang out. And some guys are always very like don't always go together. But I've heard there's been a few. Yeah, there's been a few. Yeah. I mean, I don't fully know them, and I don't really know why they're not like super close, but that's just how they are. Okay. For Maddie, you know her mother is. Have you met? No, but I was like sitting next to Maddie, and I saw her FaceTiming her mom, and knew that her name was. And I know she has a stepdad, or maybe her mom's just dating someone. I don't know his name though. Okay. And you know that she was in a relationship with. Yeah. How was that relationship? That was pretty good. They've been dating. I think it was a little over a year. She would call him like about every single night. There was one instance. I think it was during spring break. She was in Mexico, and she was drunk and like was dancing with him, maybe accidentally kissed him. I don't know the full story because I wasn't there. When you say, are we referring to? I think that's his first name. Yeah. But I think they talked it out and they seemed pretty fine after that. Like they just moved past it, and like whenever we would go to Del, she wouldn't really say hi to Del, like not make it like worse. And like me and would say hi to Del, but that was pretty much it. Okay. I would have loved to have added columns on here for you and Ben. But that's not part of it. But
from everything I've learned, you're all just really good people. And describe the quality, both positive and negative, of the victim's relationship, i.e. strength of bonds, ongoing conflicts, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I kind of mixed that question up.
No, it's okay. So for Ethan, you describe was at the house a lot.
Yeah.
We liked him there. Social, goofy, easy talking. You ever just hang out with Ethan, just shoot the breeze?
Not just by myself. I wouldn't say I just hang out with him by myself. Usually, Xana was there and we'd hang out with Ethan. To me, he was more like an older brother, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it was all four, 5 of us, me and the girls, and then Ethan would be there as well. Because usually Ethan was wherever Xana was.
I've heard that a lot,
yeah.
Actually. Yeah. For Xana, energetic, positive, energy, hardworking, nice, genuine.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about that.
She was just obviously she was the party of the life, but she was also very hardworking. She wasn't just this party girl. We had our math class together. We both failed it a few times. And so Xana was the one that always pushed me to actually go to it and actually do good on it. And she would set a certain time she would set to that class. And I think a lot of people didn't know that she was very hardworking because people just mostly saw the party side of her. But she was very hardworking. And she, if she's going to tell you something, she can tell you the absolute truth. She's not going to, if I were to ask her a question oh, does my outfit suck? She'd be like, yeah, it does. Or she would just tell me the absolute truth. That's what I mean by, genuine. She's not going to lie to my face.
That's a good trait.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously you respect her
Yeah.
for having those traits. It's great. Kaylee, it says
Prankster.
Yeah, fun. Like to do pranks.
Yeah.
Also very hard working, positive energy. I think you started to write something that started with a V, maybe. That's what I was
very
saying.
funny.
Okay,
Sorry,
very funny.
I abbreviate a lot.
Yep, you're all right. So very funny. Let's talk about some of the pranks.
One time this is before school started, we were all in the living room, we had some guys over, and Kaylee wanted to do this prank. It was this fake number, so you are able to text someone without them knowing that's your number, it's a fake number. So she started texting Xana as a fake person, was oh, another beer bong, another pair of shoes, I can see you wearing your black Converse, those kind of pranks. And we would just be laughing, and Xana would be freaking out. She was no, someone's actually texting me. And then she would look at Kaylee, and Kaylee would just start laughing. And then, so me, Kaylee, and Xana all got to the house before Maddie did this semester. And we never we hung out with Kaylee a few times, but not that much. We didn't know her that well, but we got along with her really well. And she would always be oh, I'm such a prankster, we should do a prank. And so she decided that when Maddie got home, she would start yelling at us, as a joke, that we took her alcohol or something. Just those, stupid kind of pranks, but obviously they were all jokes, and we would just be laughing. And we tried to get Maddie to think that we weren't going to get along. And she came downstairs and was what is going on? And was kind of worried that we weren't going to get along, but we told her it was just a joke.
That's great. That's great. I like pranksters.
Yeah.
It adds a little excitement.
Yeah, that's how Kayla always was.
For Maddie, a very loving, genuine personality, a social and outgoing person. On her, you actually identified the only conflict I think of was last year in Mexico when she kissed Maddie and talked about it and seemed to work out.
Yeah.
And get past it, right? Okay. That's very good. That's these are some things we just don't get to hear about a lot, and I hate to say it because we don't ask the questions, and we need to ask these questions. We need to learn a little bit more about the positive side of people and so on and so forth. So thanks, that helps us. Arrests, court involvement. This is funny because, and I don't mean funny in a bad way or anything, but every person that I put this in front of in your age group says, nope, I don't know anything about this. And I'm like, well, hold on now. Let's talk about this. There's been parties and disturbance calls and people running out the back door of that house on numerous occasions and so on. And they're like, well, yeah, but we weren't arrested. And I'm like, yeah, good point. All right, good point.
Obviously, we had the cops come to our house quite a few times.
Yeah.
And usually it was like Kaylee or Maddie that would talk to them because they were 21, and me and Xander were always kind of scared. But from what I know, there was no like arrests. I don't know if they ever got like tickets or anything.
Right.
I don't know like about that kind of stuff, and like no like arrests for drug use, alcohol use, that kind of stuff. None
Good.
of that I knew of.
Good. You know, yeah. We all have our youthful indiscretions.
Yeah.
I openly talk about this because it's funny. When I was in college, I paid my rent by having keggers. I was a business major, right? Had to.
That's
anyway,
interesting.
back then we had keggers. We didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we all have our youthful
Yeah.
indiscretions. Describe victim's personality. For Ethan, you have really good relationships. He and Zana had a really good
Yeah.
relationship. Been dating almost a year. There's not much there. Well, there's nothing for Zana, and I assume maybe that's because
That was just because they were together
Okay.
for relationships.
Okay. For Kaylee, she and John broke up, but it was mutual.
Yeah.
No hard feelings. Jack and Kaylee co-parented
Yeah.
Murphy. Murphy, how old was Murphy? Like,
He was a puppy. I don't think he even turned 1 yet. Maybe he was 1. But that was mostly Kaylee's dog. Like, she never would, like, make us pay for anything. And I think Kaylee and Jack did get Murphy together. And so Murphy would sometimes just stay at Jack's house, sometimes at Kaylee's house. More our house. But then I know he came over a few times after they broke up to hang out with Murphy and Kaylee. And, like, I walked in, Maddie and Kaylee and Jack were all hanging out with Murphy. So, like, I knew. And Kaylee told us, like, it was both mutual terms where they broke up. And there was, like, nothing hard. And that they'd all still, like, they would both still have, like, love for each other no matter what, because I think they'd been dating for like a long time.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So I saw like Instagram pictures from like high school, I think is when I saw.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you all kind of took care of Murphy though, from what I understand?
Yeah, I mean like I would take him out all the time, but like she would usually, if she was gone, she would put Murphy upstairs, or she would make sure like we were okay with him being there, because he would whine a lot, or like sometimes he would get a little annoying, but we all got just kind of like helped out with him.
Good. Playful, pretty playful dog.
Yeah, he's very playful. I liked to pee a lot in the house.
It's interesting, but yeah. For Maddie, you put that she and had a great relationship.
Yeah.
Kind of doing the long distance thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did she ever talk about that a little bit, the long distance thing, and that was tough?
No, I
know you
remember like last year, because me and Quinn do long distance, and
Right.
she was asking me like, oh, how do you do it? And I was like, you just like have to communicate and talk a lot. And so I know she and Jake would call about every single night, and he'd come up and visited. And the weekend before all this, he got her a flight to come down to Boise to see her, and so that she never said it was like anything bad about doing long distance, but obviously it's a lot more difficult to do. But they just made sure to talk a lot and call all the time.
Good.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you kind of helped her out with that a little
Yeah.
bit. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personal habits. You put slept over at the house a lot.
Yeah.
And I assume that's a crossover with Zana there too.
Yeah.
For Kaylee, after her and Jim broke up, she had been staying over with me a few
Yeah.
times anyway. Okay. How about with Maddie? Had she been staying with anyone periodically or anything
No.
like that?
She only stayed like, well, obviously she had Jake, so she wasn't like staying over at anyone else's house. And she usually like, when we would all go out, we usually would come home at night, and then Kaylee would like, I think she only stayed at my house a few times, like not like a lot, but only a few times. And then I've never been to Ethan's like apartment. I don't think he ever slept there really. He usually was at our house nonstop, but we liked it. Like me and liked it because it was like, oh, there's like a male in the house, so it's like safer. That's how we always felt. So like when Ethan was staying over, like we wanted him to stay over there.
Gotcha. Yeah, no one's ever said that they've ever actually seen him stay at his apartment.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
I don't even know where it's at.
Yeah, it's not far away.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Pretty consistent there. Recent positive, or negative behavioral changes. For Kaylee, said something about the Winco thing and someone following her, but it didn't like change her personality, is how you put it. And just so we're all on the same page, there was an incident. We looked into it. We got footage, and yes, there were two men that
was
were.
Was it the Winco?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember she had told me she came home and she was like, "Hey guys, we have to be safer." She was like, Xana was in the car. She had gone in the store. She was getting alcohol, and she's the kind of girl that's very aware of her surroundings. And I remember her saying one guy. Maybe there's two, but from what I remember, her saying one.
Yeah, and that's my fault. I shouldn't have said two, but there were actually two. Okay. There was one actually trailing and one out in the parking lot.
Yeah, I remember she noticed and she was walking out and she realized the person behind her didn't have anything. So when she got to the car, she threw everything on Xana, locked the door, and someone was behind, like she could see in her mirror behind the car. And she told us that, and me and her kind of, like we all kind of freaked out a little bit, but then we just kind of pushed it over, like, okay, we'll just like go with each other to the store now, you know? Which we usually always did, like.
It's a good plan. So you just enlightened me a little bit. So would you say it was pretty mutual that you were all learning from each other?
Yeah.
With incidents like that?
Yeah, I mean, like when I know when Katie said she'd taken Murphy out, she saw a shadow, like obviously it freaked us out a little bit, and we would lock the door, which I thought locked, apparently it never did. But I thought it locked. Like we would all just make sure like we would like take care of each other in a way. But when little things happen, we would think about it and then move it on. But then me and were the ones that were always kind of freaked out in that house. Like I remember one night I texted and I was like, I really think someone's outside my window. Like I really think so. And I've always been paranoid like that, like always have been. And he was like I don't, like it's probably nothing. And so I just take melatonin and go to bed. But me and were always really freaked out, and the rest of the girls were never freaked out. Like Xana would be like, oh, you guys are being paranoid. But me and we would like lock our doors every single night because we were just kind of freaked out. But when little things like this would happen, we would just kind of like move on from it. Like it scared us for like a little bit, and then we wouldn't really care about it.
Well, you know, it's always a good idea to lock your doors, your windows, things of that nature. And I believe your window was locked in your room.
Yeah.
So yeah, good. Any significant events prior to the murder? You put Xana's mom.
I just knew she was. I think it was like a week or two before, something about her mom texted her to see her in Lewiston. And then it came up that she was there for court about something. And so Xana was like, I don't even want to see her. And I don't know how I knew. I think Xana told me that she was an alcoholic, I think. I don't know for sure. But she wasn't very close with her mom, like, at all. She was just with her dad mostly.
Yep. Okay. Did she elaborate at all on anything?
No, she never really talked about her mom. And neither did, like, with Maddie, she never really talked about her dad, so I didn't know if her dad and mom were, like, fully divorced or, like, what that was.
Right.
But, yeah, I didn't really hear much about her mom. I just knew she talked about dad a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How about Kaylee? Did she talk about her parents very much?
Not really. I didn't even know them until I went to the memorial that was for all four of them. She didn't really, like, I never knew their names. Still don't know their names. Never really talked about them, really. She just said that, like, remember the one thing she said was, like, yeah, her parents would pay for everything, and she did everything by herself. So that's why, like, me and I was like, oh, she's the, like, the motherly one, and the very, like, got her whole life together, because she had, like, an insane job that she was able to ride a Range Rover, which was, like, we were all, like, just, like, baffled by that, because it was, like, insane. It's like your roommate bought a Range Rover, like, that's very impressive kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
it's quite a status symbol, right?
Yeah. And able to pay it, like, all by herself without any help, and then pay for college too. So that's how, like, we always called her, like, the more mother kind of, like, I feel like in Primgoods you usually have one person's like the mother. She was like that.
Would you, if she's more of the mother, how would you describe Maddie?
Maddie and Kaylee were very similar in that way. Like, they're the reason I know how to cook now, because I didn't know how to cook at all. Like, both, like, I remember one weekend, Maddie and Kaylee left, and me and Xana were in the house, and Xana goes, finally the moms are gone, we can do whatever we want, like, as a joke. So, like, to us, they were both as the kind of motherly part of the group.
How would you, if they're kind of the motherly, how would you describe Xana?
She's like the sibling that likes to have fun and party, like me. But, like, obviously she's more than just that, but she was, like, she was the reason we would have a lot of people come over because she knew a lot more people than me did, and she was older. But she's like that fun older sibling kind of vibe, I would say.
And how about
Me and like, we were just the young ones of the group, kind of just hanging out, doing, like, we'd do whatever, like, we just wanted to hang out with everyone.
And everyone was good with...
Yeah, we all, like, I remember, so Kaylee, she knew a lot of the and I didn't know a lot of the she wasn't, I didn't know a lot of her friends, but one night Kaylee was invited to the formal, so I helped drive them around, and one of the, like, oh, you guys have like the best roommate situation, because we never had like any fights. We all got along very well. Like, we would go to the grocery store together, go to the gym together. Like, we did pretty much everything together in that like semester that we had, and like we all got. I didn't know, I wasn't super close to Xana before this semester, but like I was friends with her. This semester I got super close with her, Maddie, and Kaylee. So it was just like we had like everyone knew that we're like, oh, you guys have the perfect roommate situation.
That sounds like a really good setup.
Yeah, it was nice.
I've had roommates over the years, and I can't say we all got along
Yeah.
as well as all of you got along. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to ask you, what do you know about Ethan's family?
I met his mom and dad for Parents Weekend for like a brief moment. But they're like really good people. I don't really know them or know much about them. I just knew of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Risky behaviors, which would include drug use, drug transactions, excessive use of alcohol, use of prescription medications not prescribed to them,
Yeah.
drinking, driving, etc. We have some Adderall use,
Yeah.
which we're aware of.
Yeah, Xana, that was Xana and Ethan. They would do it sometimes. Xana would be like, oh, it's to help me stay awake longer for drinking.
Do you know if that was prescribed to them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, because I know Xana always say that she feels like she has ADHD, so I don't know for sure if she was prescribed that or not. And then I know Kaylee talked about it once or twice, but then Maddie was like, hell no, never ever. From what I know, and I don't think Kaylee used it that often.
I think it's pretty widely used
It
these
is very
days
widely
around
used.
the colleges. Helps study habits or
Yeah.
staying up. Back in the old days, there were other things that people were using to
Unfortunately.
stay up and
Yeah.
cram for
Xana,
tests.
she would
and
sometimes
whatnot.
use it. She had that, like, for math, we would have the math class and she'd have her test, and she would sometimes take it to help her focus a lot better. Which I don't really know why, because I don't really understand it at all.
You think Kaylee might have had a Adderall once or twice? Maddie, no. And then of course y'all drank
Yeah.
quite a lot.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah.
like, we had, so November, I guess it's been 11th, that Friday, we had formal, and we'd all drinking a lot that night. So, like, there was often, like, there were times that we did, like, excessively drink, but I know none of us would ever drink and drive. If anything, like, if one of them was out and one was sober, then we would go get the other one if needed to, or we'd just get an Uber from it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Of all the people in the house, and I've been in the house, I figured you to be the least of the drinkers, and I'm only basing this solely off of, like, you go into and it looks like, holy smokes, this is,
Yeah.
there's a lot of alcohol, and then there were everywhere. But then again, I remind myself of my college days. Yeah, it was everywhere. It was absolutely
Yeah.
everywhere. But
I
who would you
mean-
say was the most down to the least in the sense?
I would say Xana was the biggest drinker. And then Maddie and Kaylee, they would mostly, like, because they were seniors this year, they didn't go to, like, the parties as much as we did because they could go to the bars. Obviously, we could not. So they didn't really always have a lot of alcohol in their space. And then parents had just bought her a lot of alcohol for Parents Weekend. My mom bought me a little bit. I was also more considered, like, a lightweight, apparently. But definitely Xana and Ethan were more of the heavy drinkers.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Daily schedules. This is kind of interesting, but for Ethan, you didn't really know his daily schedule. What do you know about his daily schedule? What would be his routine as far as you know it?
Well, and I don't know, he didn't have a job. He obviously had his frat stuff at some, so they would have, like, meetings and stuff he'd have to go to. I know he took classes, but, like, I didn't know his exact schedule because I'd be leaving, coming back, and he'd be gone or still there. Like, I would never really ask, like, oh, what's your class schedule kind of thing.
Okay.
And then for Xana, she usually, so her and Maddie worked at Mad Greek. They sometimes had the same shifts, sometimes different ones. Xana she would usually do afternoon, like 5 o'clock shifts, or sometimes during the weekends, like on Saturdays, or other days she would do earlier shifts. So there wasn't like a set schedule really for that. And then Maddie, she had her internship, which was from the summer. I don't know if it was the same internship she had this semester. I don't remember what the name of it was. But she usually had like in-person classes pretty early, like at 9. And then she would have her internship job, and then she would work at Mad Greek usually later in the day. I think she usually would only work like 1 to 2 times a week.
Okay, so really part-time.
Yeah, part-time.
Yep. Okay. And then Kaylee.
I don't think she ever, this year, I don't think she had any in-person classes. I think she might have taken 1 or 2 maybe online. I don't know for sure. And then I know she worked at home for this business, because she talked about a lot of her like meetings and stuff. But I don't know what the business is called. And she just had like, the last guest bedroom that had like the little treadmill thing in the office, Maddie and Kaylee had put that together.
Oh, downstairs?
Yeah, downstairs.
Okay.
The guest bedroom on the right when you first walk in, that one. I think Maddie would mostly use it, but I think Kaylee did use it sometimes for working, but she also had her computer upstairs. So I know Kaylee just had her job. I don't know if it was an internship or full job, but I know she got paid for that. And I don't like know her schedule for that really.
Okay. Was working?
No, me and Beth were not working.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
You can focus a little more on school and other things. When it comes to recent changes to the victims' daily schedules, you left that completely blank.
There was nothing ever different from what I remember. Like, nothing changed. None of them like quit their jobs or anything.
Okay.
The one thing I do remember is Kaylee had talked about moving to Texas. There was a few, I think it was Houston, Texas, Santa Barbara, and there's one other one she talked about. And she'd gone home, I think, for a week or so, and then the snow came, and so she didn't come back, and then she got her new Range Rover with new tires. She came home, and I think we convinced her to stay another semester, but I didn't know for sure if she was fully going to stay another semester or not.
Okay.
That was like the only change, but that was like way before, like she had already been talking about this.
When she was talking about Texas, explain to me, how was she talking about it?
Like, she just talked about how, I don't remember what friend it was she was going to move with, but just that she was going to sell all of her furniture and get new furniture. I don't know why she exactly wanted to move. I think it's like, I wouldn't want to live in Moscow my whole adult life either. Like, it's a college town. You don't want to like live there forever, I guess I would say.
Right.
I think she just wanted to change. But I didn't know why it was Houston, or I think Santa Barbara was one of them. But I don't know why it was those two.
Okay.
But she had just talked about it a few times with me about doing that, and then we had like, I think we talked to Maddie about like trying to convince her to stay, and Maddie had sort of convinced her to stay. So.
Okay. Did anyone else talk about their kind of, after the college experience or after they graduate, what they had hoped to move off to and
I think
explore?
Maddie, because she had another semester left, I think she talked about maybe going back to Boise with I don't know what Xana was thinking, because she was like still just junior, like didn't have her plans fully decided. And then we were like knew exactly what we were gonna do.
Okay. I noticed you're.
Yeah, I changed that.
You did?
Yeah, I had an anatomy and physiology class, and it was like hell, so I didn't want to do that anymore.
Physical therapists, by the way, are awesome.
Yeah, I've
After
thought about
18
it.
orthopedic surgeries, I love
Yeah.
physical therapists. Yep, they. So if it's something you reconsider, I think you'd probably be great at it.
Yeah.
You can help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Trust me, they've got me back up and going without a surgery a lot of times,
Yeah.
and it's been great. So anyway, digress there. Sorry. So basically, really, Kaylee and Maddie were the only ones that were kind of seeing beyond the college years at that
Yeah.
point. The rest of you are still kind of,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to enjoy this while it's here, and we'll figure
Yeah.
it out as we get a little closer to the graduation.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And that's fair to say. That's
Yeah.
a summary of it. Okay. close friends. This one's actually really cool because you put in a lot of friends for all of them, which is great. This is for Ethan, that is. Brother, I think you knew all these guys since freshman year, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Anyone else you can think of with Ethan? Anyone else that he hung out with a lot?
No, those are just always like frat brothers. Those are the ones that I know mostly of that would come over to our house a lot. I can't think of like anyone really else besides like outside of that main group.
Okay. I
feel like mostly frat guys, they kind of stick to their own frat. I don't really know why, but that's just kind of how it is sometimes.
Right. Okay. I generally don't add names or whatnot, but does a person with the first name, does that ring a bell at all? Have you ever hear anyone talk about it?
What's his last name? Yes. Peter, I know that because we would go to apartment all the time at Simcoe. He's another one that we would hang out with. He's blonde.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah, that one. He's super nice too.
Yeah.
He hung out with us all the time too. So that was also another close friend of Ethan's.
Okay. Yeah, he seems like he was pretty close to him.
Yeah.
And you guys, it sounds like maybe had been to his place.
Yeah, whenever we they had like this, they called it a watch party. It was like their main like party place, and then they have all these like little apartments. And Ethan didn't have one at because it was grades, I believe, so he had like an apartment out there. But we would go hang out in Peter's room, which I think was, I can't remember fully, but we'd go hang out there all the time with some of those guys and with Santa and some of her friends. I think it's mostly the only apartment we would. I don't know if he lived with that apartment now or if it was a different one. I can't remember really.
Okay. His brother.
Yeah.
Okay. For Zena, you put both.
Yeah.
And close with me. When we are talking about, are we talking about which?
She's my baby.
Uh-huh.
So last year it was like Xana, I believe they all lived together in the place called Shark Tank. But Xana was super close to Ellie. I forgot about that one too. Xana and Ellie were super close, and then also Xana and Ellie were pretty close. And she had a lot of other friends, and like she knew a lot of girls from different sororities. I mean, I don't remember all their names, but she had a lot of close friends. And she had a friend named that did the for all four of them. I don't remember her last name, though, but I know they were really close.
Okay. It sounds like maybe was close with a lot of you. She was
close with a lot of us. She lived right across from us in the Whites.
Would you say that out of all of you, all six of you in the home, or at least the five of you in the home, was probably the one that was connected with all of you, or would you say there were others when it came to friends that had an association or connection or friendship with all?
I guess you could, I would say I knew all of us. I guess she didn't really know Kaylee as much. Me and were the only ones that knew our friends and Kaylee, just because Kaylee was she was also an older age. So mostly just me and that knew Kaylee, all of them, and the other as well. But I knew Xana, Maddie, me, and really well.
Okay. Can you think of anyone else that had that commonality?
Of all of us together?
Mm-hmm.
There's probably, I'd probably say because she was also, but she also knew Maddie and Xana pretty well. I didn't know her especially well, but she knew and I've talked to her a little bit. I would say there's probably more that knew all of them, but I wouldn't say they didn't necessarily know like me and very well as well too.
Okay. That helps. For Kaylee, but Maddie was her closest and best friend. Maddie. Is that for Maddie? Is that okay?
They all lived in the house before us, and they all graduated last year.
Okay. And you don't know of any changes to friends?
No,
recently?
they last I talked to them, they are always super close, and there was nothing like any bad blood, I could say.
Okay. in this question, it's basically discussing fear, concern, or discomfort with a person or a situation. And Kaylee is the only one you responded to, and that was the Winco incident. And then Murphy as well, and she thought she saw a shadow of someone.
Yeah.
Where would that have been, that shadow? Where would she have seen that at?
I think from what I remember is like when she took Murphy out, so like if your back's at the sliding door and you look to your left, there's like those bushes over there.
Yeah, with a little
that
bit of
always
retaining
freaked me
wall.
out. Yeah, and there's like a neighborhood behind there. I think that's what she was talking about, but I don't. Maybe it was like in front of her. But when I thought about like when I envisioned it myself, I was thinking that backside because that always freaked me out. That's why I got
Isn't
scared.
that where your window backs
Yeah,
up
that's
to?
what freaks me out a lot. Is like someone could just walk down from the neighborhood and go right to my window. That's why that window was almost always locked because it really freaked me out.
Okay.
But I'm gonna guess that's maybe where she saw it from. I don't think it would be in front of her because that's where the house is, like right down there. Like if you're looking, your back's at the sliding window. There's like the house down there, and there's one farther down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
So, I think it was memory of that. Is
Yeah.
that Kaylee was not freaked out, was scared or called you guys, where are you, kind of thing?
I don't really remember the full thing. I don't know if Kaylee told me this or Ben had told me the story. I don't remember when she fully. I know it was like a few weeks before all this happened. I know that. But I don't remember, like, I don't think I was with Kaylee when she told me that. I think Ben had told me, but I can't fully remember if Kaylee told me or Ben told me.
And was there obviously a discussion, because this kind of scared everybody. Was there a discussion of, besides the shadow?
No. Just like that, she saw a shadow and it kind of freaked her out, like, watching her. And then she just, like, I think closed and locked the door. That's all I remember of it, really.
Do you have lights in the back? Were the lights working in the back?
No, but we had put, like, there was, like, those, I think we put twinkle lights. I don't know if they were still there at the time, but I remember we put them up so, like, when we were outside having parties, people could, like, see out there. And there's, like, one little light. I don't know if it broke in or if it was just very, very dim. But there wasn't, like, very bright lights except for those twinkle lights we had put up.
So when you looked out your window, you really couldn't see out the back?
No.
Okay.
And I hated looking at my window at night because that freaked me out. I couldn't do that.
I noticed on your window, by the way, you had it like lined with plants and other things that could be knocked over. In my words, my opinion. Is that why you had them lined up there?
No, I just like I wanted my plants to have sun. That's because my mom had bought me a ton of plants. I just put those there. I didn't really think about that.
Oh, I was thinking, wow, you're really sharp because you put things right in front of your window that if someone tried to crawl through your window, they would knock them over.
Yeah, I made sure that window was locked nonstop. I think I was more scared that someone was gonna like smash it open.
Okay.
That's what I was freaked out about. Because I talked to Quinn about that. Like I was really actually freaked out about that all the time.
Gotcha. When it comes to anyone that had conflict or experienced conflict within him, you stated everyone liked them all.
Yeah.
Can't think of a person.
There's no one that was like, from what I know and I've seen people, no one was like, oh, they're coming, or like, oh, you're friends with them. Like, there was never anything like that. Everyone loved all of them. And like, again, the only conflict maybe was like with and Maddie, but that had been like gone over, like it didn't really matter.
Right. Do you think that they had an ongoing relationship? And I'm not asking you if you know, I'm asking you if you think.
I don't think they did.
Okay.
Just from the way the way that Maddie would talk about Jake, I feel like you can tell if a person like really cares about a person. Like she would like just like smile and be so happy talking about Jake. And she felt bad about the whole situation. Like it just like it was a mistake, moved past it, that kind of thing. So from what I think, I don't think they had an ongoing relationship.
Okay. Thank you. That helps. Romantic interest in the people. Yeah, you put Kaylee for Kaylee. For Maddie, you put. But that may have been resolved, right?
Yeah.
That's about it. You don't have to answer this yourself. Did you have a romantic interest?
Yeah, my boyfriend we've been dating for like 2 years now.
Okay. Anybody outside?
No.
Okay. I mean, you're young. You're
Yeah.
an attractive young lady in college, but no.
No.
How about
She had been talking, I guess not talking, but like hanging out with. I knew him from high school, and he was one of my friends in high school for a little bit of time. So
down in Boise?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when they started talking, I was like, oh, like it'd be really cute if you guys started dating, because I liked him for her, but I don't think they ever really like dated. They just hung out.
Okay. And nobody else that you can think of had relationships outside?
No, well I know. So before Ethan, Xana had kind of dated. So me and Ethan kind of had like some disagreements sometimes, like. Just like I don't really know
Are
the
they
whole
both
story.
Sigmas or is he?
No,
yeah.
Ethan is.
Okay.
And so Xana wouldn't go over to the Delta times, and Ethan would be kind of wary about it just because he was there. And Mason Bing didn't. I don't know if he was just like jealous of Ethan that he had Xana or like whatever it was. I never really talked to him about it because I just was like, that's not really my business. I'm not going to put myself in that. So
Okay.
that was like the only other I guess. Romantic interest that Xana had before Ethan.
Okay. And you don't know of anyone that was like maybe romantic after any of your friends that it wasn't mutual? Like someone maybe popping in where they work periodically or doing anything?
No, I don't think so. Usually like we would talk about that kind of stuff, and I feel like they would have like said something if something like that happened. Well, I guess we had like Halloween, and I can't remember his last name. He was saying some weird comments to Kaylee. I don't fully know what like just weird like flirty comments, but it was like that one night I think, and I don't think it was ever more than that. I think he was just drunk and being annoying.
Okay.
What's a weird comment?
Like just saying, oh, like I'm better than Jack, like that kind of stuff. Very flirty comments, like just not something you would say if you don't know. Like I know like. Didn't know Kaylee that insanely well. Like he knew of her and like we would all hang out sometimes, but I don't think he knew Kaylee like that insanely well.
Reputations among people they knew or who knew them. And this is just so consistent that Ethan is just a fun, goofy guy.
Yeah.
Tell me about a couple of times where you got to see him just being a fun, goofy guy.
Well, there was one night, it was Halloween, and me and my friend were doing one thing too. My costume had broken, so I was kind of drunk and pissed off. Not at anyone, just myself. So Ethan had given me clothes because we were at. And I was pissed off, and Ethan kept calling me Thing 42, and I was like, no, I'm Thing 2, not Thing 42, because it was like a joke. And I have like videos of like me messing around with him, and he's just like making fun of me because I was wearing like his brother's clothes, blue hair, sunglasses. It was just like that kind of stuff. And he was just like I'm very like I like to be sarcastic a lot, like as a joke, and he liked to do that as well. So we would like just be giving sarcastic jokes back to each other all the time.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Xana, you're like, yeah, fun party. Yeah, everyone knows her.
Yeah.
Would it be pretty safe to say she's kind of the hub when it comes to the parties, like the center?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I guess she's the kind of girl that everyone knew. So it's like, I guess you could say hub. I don't fully know what hub means, but...
More of the center of attention, maybe, put it that way. Like if she's there, people just naturally gravitate toward her?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Like if Xana's there, like you want to go and say hi to her and hang out with her, like that kind of thing.
Okay. Kaylee, you didn't really know until the semester. Tell me a little bit more about Kaylee. What do you think about her reputation or how people perceived her?
I guess like I don't fully know her reputation because like throughout our roommates we knew her as like the funny, like fun one I would say, but like because she knew a lot of older I didn't know those girls, like I knew of them, but I wouldn't say like I knew what they thought about her exactly, so I wouldn't know like her full reputation. But like with us, like we knew her as like the more motherly kind of friend that like had our whole life together, that like to joke around all the time, that kept us like, she was the one that kept, because we had chores we had to do, and she was the one that would make sure that we kept on the chores and that kind of stuff. So that was like her reputation to us. And she never really went out, like when I knew her, maybe me knew her, she didn't really go out to parties, because it's like once you're a senior you don't really want to go to the frat parties, I guess. So her and Maddie would be at the clubs all the time. So I guess I wouldn't really know like her reputation with other people exactly.
Okay, that's fair. How about Maddie? Let's talk a little bit more about that. Sweet, gentle.
Yeah, she was like, I guess everyone would say what she was like the cute, like very loving person. Very gentle. I don't think I've ever seen her stressed in my life. Like she's the kind of girl that like if something bad happens, she finds positive about it. She was that kind of girl. And everyone knew her as well, like as like the cute, nice girl. That was mostly her reputation.
Okay. How about?
I would say it's the same. Me and Maddie are very much alike, like very cute, gentle. Like I've never seen Maddie mad.
And they're big and little.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I've never seen like any of our roommates mad ever. Like I guess like people getting frustrated, like Xana's gotten frustrated about math, but I've never seen them like mad or frustrated about anything. A lot like Maddie, just like that wants to have fun, like nice, loving person.
That's a good description.
Yeah.
How about yourself? How would you describe yourself? We normally don't get to ask these kinds of questions,
Yeah.
so if you see me kind of looking at and pondering, it helps me to understand you and your friends so much more. So, thank you. How would your friends interact with strangers? And I think you did one answer for all.
Yeah, well, it's just like at U of I, everyone kind of knew everyone.
Okay.
So it wasn't like you're meeting new strangers, but it was like we would sometimes like when Maddie was working at Mad Creek, we would go there and like get free food, and she was always very like when she would meet people, like greet people like for serving people, she'd always be like super happy, super smiley, super upbeat, like that kind of thing. I would say Xana's like that as well. I never like those. I would say I only saw Xana and Maddie see really strangers really. Kaylee, she didn't like work at a restaurant, so I wouldn't say I knew what she was like towards strangers, but like if we were to ever like go to the grocery store and like people were to say hi or something, we'd always be very nice. Like, they're never like rude to strangers.
Okay. And how about?
Same way, all of us were like that.
And
very
you as
like,
well. Yeah.
like respectful to people, not like out of the gate just rude kind of way.
Okay. If somebody were, and I'm going to throw out a hypothetical here, and let's start with Maddie. If Maddie's standing on a street corner all by herself, and a stranger comes walking up, and they can't cross the street yet, and the person engages her in conversation, and maybe it's semi-inappropriate conversation, how would she deal with that?
I think she'd probably just walk away.
Okay.
There was like one time my dad came to the house. He had just been standing outside, and Maddie was like looking at him like, "Who the hell are you?" Just kind of like very protective kind of thing. My dad was like, "Oh, I'm just," you know. She's like, "Oh, okay." So like she can be like, if you're giving her the wrong vibe, she'll be sassy to you. But if you don't like, if you're very nice up front, then she's not gonna do that to you. But she's very strong-minded. Like if you're gonna mess around with any of us, she'll tell you to back off.
Okay, it's a good trait, right?
Yeah.
Right. How about Kaylee?
I would say she's kind of the same way. I wouldn't say she's as sassy as Maddie can be. Maddie had more of like, it's not like a bad sass, like it's a good sassiness, but I wouldn't say Kaylee really had that. I don't really know how Kaylee would interact in that way, just because I didn't, like I've gotten a lot closer with her, but I wasn't like as close with her as I was with like Maddie and Xana.
Okay. And how about, same question, Xana?
Xana would tell him to go away. She's more of a fighter. So if someone's gonna like mess with her, she's gonna tell you, and she will fight back at you. But if you do that to her first, then she will. But if you're not gonna do anything to her, then she's like totally nice.
Okay. And Ethan?
I don't really know how he would be. I guess like the main thing is he would just be very like if Xana was with him, like he would be like very protective. Like for all of us, he was always very protective of all of us, but like in a good way. But I think he would just like joke around with them or whatever. I think he'd just try to make some conversation.
Okay.
That's always kind of how I see it.
Try to ease the tension, maybe?
That's what I always see as Ethan. Like he never wanted to create anything. Like he just wanted to like keep it mellow, you know.
How about you? How would you respond if you're standing on that street corner and a stranger comes up and maybe starts talking to you and it's even maybe getting to the point of inappropriate or... How would you respond to that same scenario?
I think she would just like kind of laugh and just like try and let it go, like just kind of ignore it a little bit, but not like rudely ignore it, just like, you know.
All right. Anything to add on any of that before we jump into the other part? Anyone need a break or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's push through then. Education and employment. Ethan was not working. Xana worked at Mad Greek, which we've already talked about. Kaylee was working at home. And Madison was working at Mad Creek and an internship, you think, since the summer.
Yeah, I know she had an internship in the summer, but I don't know if it's the same internship she had this semester.
Okay.
Could have been different, or it could have been the same thing.
And you weren't working, and nor was okay. This one's a really interesting one. This next question is describe any online activities the victims may have engaged in that could result in financial gain. There is so much of this out there these days that can result in it. And it's funny because not funny again, I shouldn't use that word, but as I've talked to people, I got kind of this common trait. None of them said anyone did it, but everyone keeps talking about feet pictures. I did not know that feet pictures were so valuable anymore.
I mean,
do you know about this trend?
Yeah, I do. I know one of my friends has sold feet pictures for money, but I don't think they have in particular. And we've all talked about it before. We've all talked like, oh, like, you could just make money from this, you know?
The girls I've talked to about this, you know, that some are from different sorts, are like, oh yeah, just take pictures of feet and sell them. I'm like, what? Who's buying pictures of feet?
I don't know if any of them did that. I don't think they did.
Okay.
We talked about it before.
Where would you even market that or sell that?
There's like apps and like I don't fully know because I've never done that.
Buypicturesbyfeet.com.
Yeah, or like one of my friends, she knows a guy that has a feet fetish and said he'll pay her money if he can have feet pics. It's kind of weird.
Okay, I mean to each his own. But,
yeah.
There's a lot of other ways out there too. OnlyFans is huge.
Yeah, I know. Like we had all joked about it before, but we've never done that. And I know someone said that Kaylee had an OnlyFans. She did not, from what I know. I feel like I would have known if she had OnlyFans. I'm like, from what I know and what she's told me, I'm pretty positive she does it, but maybe she did and I just didn't know about it.
Okay.
But she just really doesn't seem like the person to have an OnlyFans.
Okay. So and part of the reason I'm asking these questions is these sites can sometimes draw unwanted attention. And some of them that I have listed out as OnlyFans, of course, sugarbabies.com, Craigslist, you know, some of these other things. I mean, there used to be a lot more publicly available sites than there is now. Federal government shut down a lot of those, fortunately. But things as simple as eBay. Was anyone like doing eBay type stuff or marketplace type stuff?
I mean, like I've bought Air Jordans off eBay, but that's like the only thing. I don't think they've like sold stuff on eBay. From what I know, I don't think so. Okay.
I noticed all of you are very photogenic in your social media stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of that out there.
Yeah.
you obviously know what a media or a product influencer is and all these other
Yeah.
things. I'm just learning all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that stuff, but I got this really good intel analyst that works in my group for me, and she's the one that goes out there and finds all these things for me. And she by the way, commented on you and your friends. Thought you were all very lovely young ladies. Great pictures out there. She could see that you all had a good relationship. I noticed that at least two, and I'm not going to use their names, were putting themselves out there a little bit more than others. Did they have open, and you know which two I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess Kaylee or Maddie.
Yes. Were those open source? I mean, were they open to the public? Could anyone go out there and look at those? Were they? Because here's where I'm going with this. Is this intel analyst who's working with me? She is really good. And she's like, these girls should have been influencers. They had enough following, yourself included one. They had enough following, enough, you know, that charisma through the lens of the camera and whatnot to be doing products and other things. She's like, I don't know why they weren't. But was that something you all ever even talked about doing?
I think a lot of girls talk about that in general. I think it would be fun just to earn money from posting pictures. That would be amazing. You don't have to do anything, just post pictures. I know Maddie did. She would take pictures for a swimsuit brand, and I think she would make money from that. I know that. That was only a few times kind of thing. I know she had a picture from a while ago of her with the swimsuit for that brand. I don't think Kaylee ever I guess all of us would be posted a lot just because that's how we are nowadays, but it wasn't to make money, really. I wouldn't say so.
There wasn't an end goal of possibly being an influencer or a product sponsor or something?
No, I mean, we all talked about how fun that would be and stuff. Okay. And Maddie had a Pinterest account where she'd post photos and she had a lot of viewers. I think that's the only thing that was maybe, you can make money from Pinterest, but it wasn't that was her goal necessarily. It was kind of jokes. I mean, started doing that. But it's more just a joke. It was whatever, you know. So
you'll have to excuse me for my social media current ignorance about this stuff. I always thought Pinterest was recipes and how to build furniture.
Yeah, now it's I use it for outfits and eye makeup, that kind of stuff. It's kind of changed. So some people just use it for recipes, some people use it for inspiration. Okay.
So it's pretty widely utilized for a lot of things, and it can be one of those pay sites, right?
I think it's you know, Instagram that do brand collaborations. I think you can do that, but I know Maddie wasn't doing that.
Okay. And you don't know of any other activity that?
No.
Okay. That sometimes can really be kind of helpful, you know, if we know about some of these other activities. I don't want this to come off sounding weird, but everyone has a dark side to them. And what I mean by dark is not malicious or evil or anything. What it is they don't want light being shed upon it, right? Because whatever, you know, it maybe is not socially acceptable from their friends or their family or something like that. So they kind of keep that as their secret off to the side. And sometimes those things help us to piece together, you know, why someone would be associated or connected to such a crime like this. So nothing else out there though that you're...
No, not that I can think of.
All right. Nothing for past employment. Did you have anything on that, Gary?
No.
Sorry. Okay. Describe time spent in other campuses. You got Xana down because of her sister Jen.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever go to WSU games?
We did not. I think Xana may have once, I think. I don't know for sure. But we had gone to Pullman to eat food, go bowling, because they had a lot better food and more stuff to do there. But I've never been on the Wazoo campus. I don't know if Maddie has either, but I know Xana has to see her sister, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I don't think Kaylee is. I mean, I didn't. Maybe she has in the past. Not from when I knew her this semester. She hasn't.
Okay. Okay. I hear the WSU games are a blast.
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah. U of I, though's making a comeback, right?
Yeah, they are. Surprisingly.
As for, you know, groups, fraternity, sororities, study groups, research groups, program type stuff, you have for Ethan, for Zana. Vandal Solutions. What's Vandal Solutions?
I wasn't in it. It's kind of hard to explain. So pretty much, it's like if you're in a business major, they have this class called Vandal Solutions, and it helps you understand like how business works and how to sell stuff. I know a lot of people in business major were in that. I don't know exactly what it is.
Is it sponsored by U of I?
I think it is, and they like raise money for something, and it's pretty much just like, I guess for like physical therapy, we had to start doing practicums. That's what it's like for a business major, is like they would have calls and try to sell people some stuff. So it's like how to get like in the business world, and then helping them get a job later on once they graduate college, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of like your keggers.
It really was, actually. Yeah, a lot like it. Anything else on any of the programs? So I know in school, I never participated in this, but a bunch of my buddies did because we were all poor, even though we were working all the time, going to school or whatnot. But they would volunteer for different research projects and other things like that. I'm not saying any of them were getting electroshock therapy, but we suspected it on a couple.
No, I don't think they were. Like none of them, like when I think of research projects, I think of science research projects. None of them were in science, so
okay.
None of that. I can't think of anything of that sense. So
I'm gonna ask it differently. Do you ever take any or pay for what we used to call short classes? Instead of doing a whole semester on a subject, you could pay for a 3-day seminar, you could do a 5-day seminar.
I have not, and I don't think, I mean, I don't know if they have, but from what I know, I don't think they have.
Okay. Do you know if any of the other girls had any of those type of courses? You know, you could go for the seminar.
I don't think so. That I know of. Is it like those classes you take over the breaks and it's like compacted into?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know one of my friends from Boise that goes to college is doing that, but I don't think any of them did that. Maybe they have in the past when I didn't fully like know them as well. But from when like this semester they did not.
Okay. And did you ever see them advertised or any brochures? Well, I'm not really dating myself. Anything online about these classes?
No. The only thing advertising really is like, for Vandal Solutions, Xana asked me to go to the class to earn like points or something for the class. For Vandal Solutions class, we went, and it's just so like pretty much Vandal Solutions do this thing so like they can recruit more people to be in the class.
Right.
So that was the only thing really that they ever had.
Okay.
But it wasn't like Xana and Maddie were recruiting us together. They're like, oh, can you go do this for me for like so I can get points for the class, pretty much kind of thing.
Okay. Do you know what kind of classes those were that they were?
Just that Vandal Solutions class.
Just the Vandal Solutions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cell phones, you all had iPhones, it looks like. And you had a communication string going, and you all added Ethan to that string on
Yeah,
12.
we had a group chat with the 5 of us, and then we changed the group name to Cougar Den. I don't know why. But then me, Ethan, and Xana were all in, I think it was apartment at and we were like, oh, we should add Ethan. So we added Ethan that night to the group chat. Okay.
And I'm dating myself here, but we used to just pick up the phone and call people. But with texting and whatnot, I know that texting used to be like really cool. But is that your primary form, or because I understand everyone uses direct messaging now and all kinds of other things?
I kind of switch. Like I use Snapchat and texting. Like sometimes I'll have a conversation with the person on text, and then in the conversation with them on Snapchat. I would say more people use Snapchat. I don't really know why. But I kind of just, like, if it's more important, like, oh, like, I'll text. But sometimes it's not always just important. Like, it's just, like, it just switches randomly. I don't really know why I use both. Sometimes I do.
Is that kind of the same for
I feel like that's how most people are.
Okay.
Like, obviously, you text your parents on text, not Snapchat, because I feel like that's kind of weird. But, like, when you meet a new person, you ask them for their Snapchat or not really their number. I don't really know why. Yeah.
How times have changed.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So Snapchat's really a big thing then?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Is that the one where it disappears, the message disappears after X?
Yeah, you can do that, or you can like make it like stay for 24 hours, you can save it.
What about TikTok? I've heard of TikTok videos.
Yeah, it's just like videos. Do you remember what Musical.ly was? that's pretty much what TikTok is. It's just people post new videos. Like sometimes you'll do like get ready with me, or like dancing videos, or like informational videos. It's just kind of like whatever you want it to be.
Okay. Anything else social media wise?
No, I know Maddie had a Visco, but she never like used it. I don't know when the last time she used it, but she didn't use it at all really this semester.
Is that a payment thing or something?
No, it's just like it's pretty much like Instagram, but not as like it's like posting pictures, but not for like the whole likes and the comments and that kind of stuff. It's just kind of you post whatever you want. I think me and Ben mostly just used it. I don't know if Xana had a Visco or not. A lot of like my year had Visco and used it a lot.
And how do you spell that?
VSCO.
VSCO.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's similar to.
It's very similar to Instagram, except it's not like. I guess Instagram is more about like the likes, comments, followers, all that kind of stuff. Visco not about that at all.
Oh.
Like it's just like you post whatever you want kind of thing. It's mostly more of a girls app too. Like not a lot of guys have the app.
Okay.
It's mostly like just girls have the app.
I'll have to check my daughter. She's in your age group. She probably has that. Yeah. Anything on that app that could possibly, I mean, is it public source? So can someone access it?
Yeah, Visco, one thing about Visco is you can't private it at all.
Okay.
But you have to like type in the exact username to find them pretty much, but it sucks because you can't make it private.
So you can't browse it, you can't search for geographical
Well, see, I
location?
guess you can, but it's like Instagram's a lot easier to search people because you can just like type in their name, you can probably find it. Visco, it's like you gotta search most of their username, which can be kind of hard to find. But you just can't like make Visco private as like Instagram you can.
Okay. Outside homeschool work, spend their time. For Ethan, he spent time at the fraternity. The rest of you would go shopping and
Yeah,
go to the store. And
we would do like Costco trips together sometimes, or like going to restaurants together. We kind of did like because like I didn't have a car. Car crashed, so we all kind of did everything together. Like if someone was driving somewhere, we would go with them, that kind of thing.
When was the crash?
A few weeks before this happened, I believe. I would probably have to. I don't know the exact time of when the crash was.
Do you know where it was?
I think it was on the road to Spokane because she was getting a flight to Reno, but she had to drive to Spokane. All I know is like it wasn't her fault. Something I don't remember the full story about what happened exactly.
Okay.
And you list for transportation that everyone had cars.
Yeah,
so.
except for.
Gotcha. But it sounds like you guys had a way to get around.
Yeah.
So that's great. We're moving on to the current situation, and we're going to have some additional questions within this spectrum. Okay, so again, if you need to, or this scope question, if you need to take a break or something, let us know, or if you need us back off the questions, let us know. Okay, so in this is, the first question is, what do you feel and believe may have contributed to your friend's death?
Yeah.
And go ahead, elaborate on.
Just from what I've heard, and like the autopsies, that Kaylee was the main target. And I remember when me and were driving home, we had this like weird feeling that it was Kaylee just because of all the stalking stuff. Like we just thought it was her. And so when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, Maddie and Kaylee were the only ones who went to the bars. They're obviously very like pretty beautiful girls. People are gonna go up to them. Kaylee and Maddie are both people like they don't care if a guy comes up to them. Like they want them to leave them alone because it's like Kaylee has her boyfriend. I mean, Kaylee is talking. Maddie has her boyfriend. Like they don't really care to talk to other guys right now. And so, like just from looking at the grub truck video, like before like we all knew all of this, just the way like from looking at the grub truck, it seemed like even though I know it's not at all, whatever, but it looked like she told him to back off, that kind of thing. And that's kind of how Maddie was. Like if someone's getting too close, she'd tell him to back off. Like she would say it. And so I feel like for like 20-year-old men, like that makes their ego go down, and they kind of get pissed off about that. Because it's like frat boys, I think they have like this huge ego of like whatever, you know. That's just kind of like what I thought about it. And like when talking about about it, it didn't make sense, like, why all 4 of them were together, because they don't have, like, all 4 of them don't have this whole connection together. Like, it just doesn't make sense to us why. And so me and, like, obviously we come up with, like, multiple scenarios because, like, what is going on, you know, like, that's what we're going to do. And we thought, oh, maybe, like, because Ethan was there, he's 6'3", big guy, maybe he was a threat. We don't know why. That's, like, the only thing I can think of. And then just, like, a stalker of some sort, Kaylee, I don't really know. Like, it's just weird to me.
Okay. In your written response, you referred to some of what your verbal response was there, and that's the rejection.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about rejection. Why do you think that might be part of this?
I just feel like I don't know if it's like for like this, but just like what I've thought about in the past, it's just like when men in college like get rejected, it's like, well, shit, that just ruined my ego. Like, I just feel like that's how most guys this age kind of are. Because it's just like, oh, like, if I'm flirty, they'll want to go with me. Like, I just feel like that's how this world's day and age is right now. And Maddie and Kaylee aren't afraid to say back off, like that kind of thing. That's like the only thing I could even like think of, because no one had any hatred towards them whatsoever. No one had like a disagreement from what I've known from them. So like when I think about that, that's the only thing I could think of.
Okay. That's fair.
Did they ever say anything like that had happened?
No,
or
but
would they joke about something like that would happen or discuss it?
Not that I can think of, but just like in general, like I knew like if someone would get up too close to Maddie and Kay, like Maddie would just be like, go away. Like she just obviously she would be careful about it and not be stupid about it, but she would tell them like, okay, back off, you know. And like I don't know exactly how they were at the clubs because I never went with them, so I don't know what their behavior was like or like how they were exactly.
How about at the parties at the frats? You never saw them at parties or interact
Well, it's like
with?
when we'd have parties at our house, I would see them, but it's all guys that we all knew and liked, so there's never any weird stuff like of a guy getting too close. Only the weird thing was like with Kaylee, and I think Kaylee had told him like, what the fuck, like, you know, kind of back off kind of thing. But when we invited people to our house, it's people that we all liked and all like knew. There's never like weird tension between people and our roommates at the house.
Okay.
This next one's a big one, and had we done this interview yesterday, and I'm not blaming it worked out fine, but would you have been able to put anything down for the second question, which is, do you know who is responsible for the murders of your friends?
No, I thought it was Walter the whole time.
Serious?
Yeah. I thought it was him until when I did the last FBI interview. They had said Jack has been so cooperative, blah blah, and that.
Is that
like,
the one with Aaron when you did the interview?
Yeah,
with Aaron?
no, it was the one on the Zoom thing. Maybe that was Aaron. I can't remember.
No, it was with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my mom had talked about all the media stuff, and then someone said something about how he's been in the same exact media and that he's been so helpful and cooperative, and that made me think, oh, that was a good way that it wasn't him. So then I was like, okay, well, shit, it's not him. Like, I don't know who else it could be. And I really thought it was from UVI, because it's like they knew where we lived. Because for me, to go up to Katie and Maddie's room, you have to go past my door. I don't know if I locked my door or not that night. I usually did when I wasn't drunk, but I was drunk that night, so I have no clue. So that's why I kind of just figured it would be someone at UVI that knew exactly where all of us lived in that room, in the house. Because obviously they weren't down to bed ever, from what I know. So that kind of just like made me think, oh, it's probably someone from UVI. But like we've been talking to some of our friends, like who could it be? And we couldn't think of anyone. And the only thought we had was just because of like he lived next door to us, he was a blah blah blah, like just random stuff like that. He was like Grub Chuck. But then we saw the video of Maddie and Kaylee and walking together, and we're like, oh shit, like they were walking together. It wasn't like, you know. That's what also kind of made me believe like it really wasn't him. So no, I wouldn't have known at all who it was yesterday.
Okay. Have you ever seen this Bryan Kohberger before?
No. I remember when told me some, or I don't remember, someone said, oh, the arrest was in Pennsylvania. That was like, okay, I don't know anyone from Pennsylvania. I don't know anyone that has ties to Pennsylvania. And so that like really weirded me out, which is like why, like, I feel like the people that we know, if they had family in Pennsylvania, like I would have known, you know? So this, like, it does shock me because it's like, it's a WSU student. Like, they don't know them, so what was the point exactly? Like for me, I would have thought it'd be like some stalker that was obsessed with one of them or something.
Okay. Have you seen a picture of Mr. Kohberger?
Yeah, I looked him up today when I
Okay.
found out. Yeah.
So you've, I'm not sure which picture you've seen of him.
I've
Is
seen
it-
the mugshot one with the vest thing, I think.
Okay.
It's on there now.
Oh,
Yeah,
that-
it's all
everybody's
it's all on
sending
the
it to
internet.
you.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to word this carefully, but is this Bryan Kohberger, the person that you saw in this mugshot? Is that the person you saw in your house?
I have no clue. From what I remember, I just remember seeing this figure that was like not fat, obviously, but more of like the skinnier toned build and some mask on. I don't know what the mask exactly was, but when I thought about it, it was just like covering here and here. I don't know if it was covering his mouth, his nose, or below his mouth and nose. I just remember knowing that he was white, but I didn't know how he was white. I just knew he was. And just knowing there was, like, I knew he looked at me because of a bushy eyebrow. That's all I remember. I, like, for therapy, I asked her to help me, like, go in a calm state of mind to help me, like, remember stuff, but nothing could come up, which was really weird. The only thing that helped come up was, like, hearing Kaylee's footsteps, but not hearing another pair of footsteps. That really freaked me out, because obviously I'm right next to there. And so I was like, okay, well, why didn't I hear his footsteps? Or, like, another pair of footsteps? But I have no idea what he looked like. I don't, like, when I looked at his picture, nothing came back to me at all. So that, like, I don't know, I feel like if I saw that, my mind would be like, oh, yeah, that's him. But it just, I don't remember at all.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
when you had gone down to the room and stuff, that night, said you had described that he had a big nose. Do you remember saying that?
No, I don't remember that at all. And I know, like, when the police came to my house to do an interview, I was looking at my text to have, like, proof of stuff, and it said Xana's wearing all black. I don't remember her texting me that at all. I don't remember our conversation. All I remember was something about a firework or fire, so I thought someone had thrown fireworks in our house or something, but I don't remember a big nose at all, like, at all. That's, like, all I remember is, like, some bushy eyebrow and all black and some sort of mask, but it wasn't, like, one of those circle ski masks. That's all I remember. And this thing he held, but I kept calling it a mini vacuum, which I don't really know why. That doesn't make sense at all. I just remember calling it mini vacuum. And then I remember when I went downstairs to the bedroom, I don't remember what we talked about at all. I just remember, like, laying in bed, looking outside the window and seeing a truck, what I thought was a truck. I don't remember the color. I don't remember, like, it was, like, a decent-sized truck. But I remember saying, like, it could have just been, like, the neighbors because I could hear trucks going by all the time, you know? But I don't remember what we talked about. I don't remember what I called her about. Yeah, so I have no clue.
How do you feel about Mr. Kohberger being arrested by our team?
So on the clothing, when you were talking to Aaron, the FBI agent, stuff,
Yeah.
you described it a little bit more. You had a dark or black shirt.
Yeah, and like from what I remember, I thought it was ribbed, like the shirt was ribbed, but I don't know for sure if it was. But I just remember everything being all black, and this thing, which I thought was a mini vacuum, and I just thought it was all black. I don't really know for sure if it was actual black or if that was like real or not real. I just remember like it was just like this figure of all black, and I knew it was a person, but I don't know why I thought it was like a firefighter or something at first, but just because of Bethany something about fireworks fire, and I just remember like slamming the door shut and saying no, like just slamming it, locking it, and then he had said something about just come downstairs, like it's better if we're together. I don't know the exact text, but I have the text, and just like going downstairs because I didn't like.
You don't remember the sliding glass door being opened or closed?
No, I couldn't remember if it was or wasn't, but I remember Murphy had been barking like a little bit, and I remember I could hear his barking be distant, and so I thought the door was open, but I didn't know for sure. And then when later on we'd been looking up about it, and the sliding glass door was open, and that's how I was like, okay, like I think the glass door was actually really open because they had posted a picture of the door that it was open. So at the time I didn't know for sure if it was open or not.
Okay. And I believe with the interview with Aaron, you said you thought he had boots. You don't know why he had boots on. But
Yeah, I thought they were just like black boots. But again, I don't know for sure if it was actually black boots or not. Yeah.
And the vacuum cleaner.
It was, I don't know why I called it a mini vacuum, but I just remember it being like this cylinder thing that was long, and then it went out and in, which I don't know how that's a mini vacuum, but I just remember thinking it was a mini vacuum.
Okay.
I don't really know why.
And that didn't look like anything in the house that used to be in the house.
Not at all.
Okay.
How long do you think that was? And I wasn't planning on talking about the object at all, but
Yeah.
when I was just watching your hands illustrate the
Honestly,
size.
I don't know, just because everything's very blurry. Like it's, when I think about what I saw, it's like I put these blurry glasses on, and so everything's like, just doesn't make sense. I don't know exactly how long it was, like maybe that long, maybe longer, maybe shorter, I don't know. It just didn't really make sense to me at all. Yeah.
Okay. How are you holding up? Well, and just so you know, there was no coordinated effort with law enforcement to make the arrest of the suspect prior to the memorial. We have legal standards that we have to obtain, and we were doing everything we could to make it happen as quickly as possible. It just so happens to be on this same day.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to know that firsthand. So I don't know if I have many more questions. I'd like to turn over to Ryan if Ryan has anything or any follow-up or clarifying questions on any of the responses.
Are you okay? Do you want to take a break?
I'm okay for now. I'm just like shaking a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. I think a million things.
You've been through a lot. You have, and I can't tell you how appreciative we are for all your help in this and thinking through. And there could be a tragic incident where 100 people witness it, and there may only be 5 people at best that have even a 90% recollection of what actually happened, even though they're all literally staring at it. So I don't want you to beat yourself up. Don't. I don't want you to second guess what you did or anything else. You have been probably one of the most cooperative people I've ever worked with, in the sense of the totality of the interviews after interviews after interviews, submitting your prints and old Gary here getting you covered in ink, right?
Yeah.
But we're truly grateful. We're grateful you're still here. All right, because without you and being able to fill in some of these gaps for us, it would have made everything a lot harder for us.
So I always like to end it with, is there something that we didn't ask you that we should have asked you that you've wanted to tell us about this incident, no matter what it is?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I don't think there is. I think I've told you like every single thing I can think of. And obviously like after like I've tried to help bring back some memories, and the only thing I can remember was the footsteps. That was like the only new thing I can remember, which really freaked me out after, because she had like tried to put me in, she just told me like your nervous system will not let you open it up. And I've wanted to and I've tried to, just so like if there was anything else I could give it to you guys so you guys could like figure it out faster. That was like my main thing, was trying to figure it out. But it's like I can't get to it at all. Like my mind won't let me.
Okay. So if that does come to you, tell us so that we could have that information. That would be, anything is helpful.
Okay.
Because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I thought you should ask away. They might not be able to, if you guys want to turn the recorders off or on, but
Okay.
I think.
Was there anything that you wanted to clarify or cover on any of the responses to the questions while we're still on record?
The only, obviously, the other interviews, anything that she didn't say today were with the other interviews. So you guys know the answers, and obviously I know you're not looking for more, or else I'd say you need to tell them that part too, because you
Right.
said it, but you guys know all that. So
We do.
if you're not asking specific questions about that, then.
No, I'm good there. I'm going to end audio recording at 12:45 p.m.